Let's build a city in Minecraft. This is gonna be really fun. Hey guys, let's check out what we're doing with this Build a City project here. In your notebook, there's a page called Build a City. It has a little introduction video. And the idea of this project is that each group is going to build a portion of a city in Minecraft. And that's a lot of fun to build a city, but we're also going to build it in a way that teaches people something about the city. I'll go to this other page here, Topics. You'll choose a topic from these ones listed here. There's lots of different things. Hopefully you'll find one that you like. And you'll notice that each question or each topic has two questions. For example, on the food one here, it says Farmbox Greens is a Seattle company. How do they grow their food? And then there's a link to Farmbox Greens. You can go check that out. And then for the second question, what foods come mostly from North America? Find 4 of your favorite foods. Where do they mostly come from? So there's a map where you can see where a food comes from there. And that's kind of your prep for building a city. You're going to do a little bit of research by clicking on these links, thinking about these questions, so that you have an idea of what you want to build once you get in there. There's a page called the Research Guide, and this is really here just to help you out with your planning. You can copy and paste your 2 questions here. If you're used to kind of doing a claim and then supporting details or evidence you might hear in science, this is set up kind of like that. This is just a framework to help you answer questions well. There's a spot for the source there too, so you can copy and paste that in. There's a little section here that says, how will you show your information? This is just to get you thinking about how in Minecraft you're going to show that information. And how you'll show it with your actual build. Sometimes just the blocks themselves can teach people something in how they're built. Just to go down a little bit further here, there's an example of, it says a bad response, we'll say a lacking response here, one that could be better. It says, so the question might be, how will homes become smarter in the future? And this one says, houses will automatically control temperature and lights with computers. Well, it doesn't sound that bad, but it's really just kind of boring. You don't really want to read more about that. Doesn't have a source, doesn't have any interesting details, it's just boring. If we look at the good response here, it says, have you ever been to the store and can't remember if you need more of a certain ingredient? Imagine if your fridge could tell you what it had in it. What if your fridge could recommend recipes that were possible to make with the food inside of it? According to an article on Popular Mechanics titled, What's for Dinner Fridge? This is already possible. So this one I think is a lot better because, one, we've got a source in there, Popular Mechanics, and we didn't just copy and paste a big ugly link in there. We worked it into the answer. It says, according to an article on Popular Mechanics. It also gets the reader imagining how their life might be different. Oh, you could walk up to a fridge and it would tell you, hey, you can make chocolate chip cookies with the ingredients you have in your home. That might be kind of cool. I'd like that. And then if I was at the store, my fridge might be able to tell me, hey, you should really pick up some chocolate chips if you want to make those cookies. All right, well, let's say you've done your research, you've picked your topic. Let's jump into Minecraft and see what this might look like. So I'm going to show you guys a finished city here. This is one from previous quarter. If we look around, we can see all these different buildings all over the place. This is a vertical farm. There's a school over here. Here's all the apartments that people live in. This is a transit center. There's a park, a library over here, all sorts of cool stuff. And you'll see they kind of built generally in the same area. That's a good idea so that you're close and you kind of look like a city. Let's go check out this vertical farm here. And we can see just by looking at it, just from their build, we can learn something. Oh, they're growing food inside. The food has lights shining on it. It's kind of stacked vertically so that you can have more room to grow. It's not all laid out flat on the ground of just one level. And they put these signs here to tell us a little bit about what they found. They give us some information. They have their sources on there. This is a pretty nice build here, and there's a lot more to it. But this is a good example of how you could show information here with a build, and you could also write out information that you want to write out as well. Let's take a look at a few ways we can show information in Minecraft. So I'm going to press E to bring up my inventory, and I can search for a sign. That's one way. I can also search for a board. That's another way. And lastly, I'll look for an NPC. Looks like a little egg. I'll put that out there as well. So first we've got signs. And this is good for little short pieces of information. This might be just a good way to say, hey, this is a vertical farm here. If we want to put more information, we might instead use a board. I'll put a board right here. Now I've got lots of room for information. I can type out a whole lot of information, but remember, we want this to be fun. We want people to walk around and learn from seeing cool things, not really standing here for a long time and reading, so these signs might have too much information on them. I think I would probably break this up into smaller pieces and put little signs around this build. A really fun way to show information is the NPC, and there's a few requirements for getting this to work. First, you have to be what's called an operator. You have to have a little crown next to you. If you're in someone else's game, you might not have a crown next to you, which wouldn't let you place these NPCs. You might have to ask them to make you OP, which is by typing /OP space and then your name. Okay, so I can right click and you'll notice, oh, it still doesn't work. I cannot place this thing. There's one more thing I need to do. I need to turn World Builder on. That's a /WB, enter. You'll see it says World Builder status updated to true. And now I can right click and I can place NPCs. Ooh, they're kind of like a villager, but they stay in one spot. I can right click on them and give them a new name. This might be Victor the Vertical Farmer. And I can change Victor's appearance here. Let's use this one. I can edit Victor's dialogue. And I can actually go into advanced settings too and add a link. That might be a nice way to show one of my sources too. If I'm really into Minecraft and I know some more things about commands, you can actually have commands happen when you talk to an NPC. That's pretty cool. But I'll leave it at this. And you'll notice that every time I right click on Victor here, it just brings me back to the edit menu. If I type /WB again, that turns off World Builder. And I can right click on Victor. Now it shows up as what I've set his dialogue to. That's pretty cool. Lots of people have their city populated by lots of NPCs. It makes the city look more lively, and it's a fun way to learn some information. Okay, build something cool. Have some fun. This is a pretty... what am I trying to say here? This is a really fun assignment. Have some fun with it.